Hello, this is David Carter, and I'm your host of David Carter's The Catalyst podcast, where we're always provoking positive change. And I'm excited to be here. I'm always excited about having these conversations, but I have someone with me. This is Kevin King, and I've known Kevin for a number of years. And so, Kevin, it's great to have you here with me today.
Well, thank you, David. It's good to be here.
So I want to talk about, because life is a journey, and I want to talk about, if I were to put it encapsulated, I want to talk about, you're a person of faith, family, and then automotive passion, okay? But in your early life, I see, I look at some of your information, you have a passion for music, and that's something that I didn't know, because I met you in a different way, in a different place. But tell us a little bit about your passion for music.
Well, I wondered whether to mention that or not, but it has been an ongoing one of those things that gets in your system and and never quite leaves, and that's a good thing, not a bad thing. I started in junior high school, maybe seventh grade or so, and there were some guys that had a little local band, and I was just good enough to maybe play the bass strings on the sixth string. So I joined the group. It was called the Light Brigade.
The Light Brigade.
The Light Brigade. Yeah, we had it back in junior high school, and I was in the eighth grade, maybe 14 years old, and turned into the bass player of that group. And it was pretty popular. We had a school bus and traveled around and did gym jams and certain things like that. Later on, that turned into a little loungy thing around here in Columbus, and then on the road for a while. And then, of course, it gets time to settle down and put kids in school. And so I met a girl at band practice.
Wait, was she a groupie?
No, well, the singer brought his sister to practice.
Okay. and she sees this strapping young man.
Oh yeah. The next thing you know, I have his car and his last $5 and his sister, and he's sitting home alone. But after that, you got to settle down and do that. So I settled down, raised a family for 25 years, and just kind of said, hey, I can't move around anymore and so forth. So raised the kids, and then I just started doing took lessons again, actually, a little bit, and ended up playing in a band with my instructor.
Okay.
So it's just been kind of an ongoing thing.
And I used to play, I never played in a band, but I played, I started in the fourth grade, I played trombone.
Oh.
And I do know how to read music. I'm kind of a little rough, but it's been a minute. But I think that so music has always been in my system, and I guess that's why one of the things I also did, I became a disc jockey at one point. I went to broadcasting school in Connecticut and things of that nature. And so it's just always been, like you said, it kind of gets in your system.
It does.
And you have this on again, off again relationship.
And there's just different ways as we grow up. I was going to say as we get older, but as we grow up.
What are you talking about, Kevin?
Yeah, I don't know. There's different ways to scratch that itch, I guess.
Yeah.
Recently I did it with a bunch of guys in a blues group locally.
Currently, are you currently in a blues group?
I am, even though we're kind of on a hiatus a little bit due to some illness. These guys are getting older too, and they're, it's tough to go out a lot. That's a half a dozen times a year type of mostly outdoor. I'm not willing to do nightclubs and bars and that kind of stuff.
That's not your speed.
That's not me.
But I also see that it says that you played sports.
I did.
In high school.
I did in high school.
4 letters.
4 letters.
In football. And then 2 in tennis.
Yeah.
What?
Well, while you were running track, I decided that's a little too tough for me, so I wanted to pick up tennis. Maybe that's something I could do when I grow up. Play tennis, fish, and golf. Those are a couple of things. Fish and golf particularly, but No, I really loved it, and I've kind of given it up since then, but just due to time.
Just due to time. I guess you're kind of busy with what you're doing right now.
Well, time and family. You know, I have 7 grandkids now. So
wow, 7. What are their age ranges?
Well, the oldest is 29, and the youngest is 10.
Wait, your grand are 29.
Grand is 29.
Your okay.
Grand.
Wow, Kevin.
Yeah, wow. That one started early.
Uh-huh.
The youngest is 10.
Okay. No, I understand about starting early. My first, I have 2 grandchildren. My first grandchild will be 13 this year. My middle child got pregnant at 15.
I think that's what happened with my oldest.
Yes. Life
goes on.
Life happens, and then as a family, what do families do? What do families do? You kind of rally around and help them in that situation.
You do what's right.
Mm-hmm. And so, what was right for you guys?
Well, when I got married, I married a lady that had a daughter and a son from a previous. And those are my kids. And you know, we put them through college, and we love them just like our own, and there's no other way to do that, I don't think. So
when you say blended family, you're just family.
Just family, yeah.
Just family.
No one would ever know.
And that's the kind of spirit that you have. And I think when I first, and the way we met, and I'm going to, just kind of segue into that. The way we met, I arrived in Columbus in December of 1998. I was pastor of a church in downtown, and I was looking for a vehicle. And I don't even remember how I stumbled upon Byers Automotive. But I went there and had a conversation with you. And then out of that, we kind of formed a relationship that's been blossoming and has stood the test of time. This is Byers Imports, correct? That's what it is?
Correct, yeah.
Now, what are your, what brands are there that you,
Correct.
And also you're the general manager.
The general manager.
Okay.
I joined them in 1998. So I was just, maybe 97. I maybe been there a year. And it is currently Porsche.
Wait, you said it's currently what?
Porsche.
Porsche, not Porsche.
Not Porsche, but
it's Porsche. For those of you who are listening, it is Porsche. Okay.
Porsche, Audi, Volkswagen, Subaru, and now we just recently added a new franchise called Polestar.
What is Polestar?
It's actually an all-electric vehicle that's owned by Volvo Corporation.
Okay.
So it's kind of a premium electric Volvo, but with their own independence and their own design people and their own. So, we really felt like that the EV business it's coming whether we like it or not.
Is that it? In your opinion, is that where everything is going? I mean, I know there, fossil fuels and energy.
There's going to be challenges, and every day there's new challenges, and there's hiccups, and there's interest rates, and there's, what do we do? What do we do with these batteries when they're expired? And how do you extinguish one if it catches fire? And so there's new challenges almost every day, and so I think it's inevitable that it's going to happen. I'm not even personally necessarily ready for it, and there's a lot of other things happening. Hybrid, and now hydrogen is in the mix with Toyota and Porsche and certain people, and that's running on water. I mean, who knows? Yeah. It changes all the time.
And I ask you that because, I'm talking about, I'm always looking for a vehicle. Right?
Yeah.
And so I always am. Yeah. Because you said it's Porsche, Audi, Volkswagen, Subaru, Polestar. And you're the general manager
of that brand now.
Of that brand.
Yeah. Now Byers has 16 brands here in Central Ohio.
Okay.
But I'm the general manager of that particular.
You're just the general manager.
Well, I'm just the support staff for everybody else, you know.
It's interesting because the first car that I bought in Columbus was an Audi.
Yeah.
An Audi A6. And the salesman was Matthew.
Nealand?
Yes.
He's my son-in-law.
Oh, he is. I didn't know that. Yeah.
And he's also now the general manager of Audi Columbus for us.
Wow, okay.
We've moved him.
Okay.
We said, boy, if you can sell Reverend Carter, you must be something. We're going to make you the boss.
Yeah. I bought an Audi A6 from him. I bought that from Byers. Then I bought a Porsche
Boxster.
No, I bought the Cayman. First I bought the Cayenne.
Oh, the Cayenne.
In 2004 when they first came out. And when I was driving that, I think that was the first year.
Yeah.
When I was driving that around, nobody knew what it was, but they knew it was a sweet car. Oh my God,
it was great.
It was sweet. It was sweet. Then I bought from you at the time. My wife was driving. It was a Jaguar XJ6.
Okay.
XJS. I'm sorry. XJS. I bought a Volkswagen Beetle from you guys.
Should have kept it.
I know. Don't.
Hindsight is a terrible thing with these cars.
Don't do that. That's painful. When you said that, it was just a knife just went through my spirit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bought it for me, but then I gave it to my daughter, and then what else? I bought a Porsche Cayman from you. And let me tell you how. Let me refresh your memory on how that went.
Okay.
After I went through some life changes, I had to let go of the Porsche Cayenne, and so after that, I was thinking about getting another one. After went through divorce, children are grown and everything, so I'm on my own. I want to get I'm thinking about getting back into that because I just love the car. So I called you up, and I said, Kevin, I'm thinking about getting back into it. Could you check out? Perhaps look for something for me. And you said, no problem, Rev. So that night I went to sleep, had a dream. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and they said, well, you don't want to, you're divorced, you're single, you need something a little sporty. So I said, well, this is in the dream. And they said, you need to get you a little 2-seat or something. And I said, well, okay. So I wake up from the dream, and I text you first thing in the morning. I said, Kevin, can you shift the focus? And you said, well, I said, I'm looking for a 2-seater. And you said, well, Rev, you believe it or not, we got in a Porsche Cayman, a 2007 with 28,000 miles on it. You want to come check it out? I was like, oh my God. I go in there, find the car. But I think that and so I've been driving it ever since then, right? And so, but out of relationship, we always had this connection. And I think that every time I think about a vehicle, purchasing something, and this is for those of you who are listening, I think of Byers Imports. One, because of the quality of the car, but also because of the integrity of the people. Now, as the general manager, what is your role there at Porsche? Or Porsche, Audi,
I
etc.
kind of think of myself as the lead cheerleader. Mm-hmm. I'm a big believer in relationships, and I don't like looking over people's shoulder. I like to set a path and let good people do their thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm here to help you if you need help, but it's kind of your deal, and get good people and let them go. That's
you're a good resource, and if someone needs something, you're there to be what? A catalyst?
A catalyst. Hey,
how about that?
How about that?
To keep things moving along.
And I try to teach them, through relationships, how to build relationships of their own, and how important those are. Just like if we really didn't have a relationship, there's plenty of cars in Columbus. Mm-hmm. But
whenever, I just thought of another vehicle I purchased from you guys. I purchased it was a used Acura RL. I was in
a Jeep.
And a Jeep. And a Jeep. Yeah, but all of this, because every time I think about...
Didn't you have a Boxster?
No, I never had a Boxster.
Cayman.
I had the Cayman. But every time I think about vehicles or something like that, I always go back to the place that people treated me well. And we were talking before this. It never hurts to be kind to people. And I think that's the thing. And that's why I always refer people to you guys, because you operate with integrity and kindness. And I've always appreciated that. Well,
we kind of have, and I'm a big culture guy. Mm-hmm. And I kind of think that if the culture is doing to others, then everything else is going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And it always is. And if you acquire things for what they're worth, and you sell them for what they're worth, and no more and no less, and treat people like you'd want to be treated, everything else works out.
I've always felt after every transaction that I've had with you guys, I know that there's profit margin and everyone has to make a profit.
Has to be. But I've never felt gouged. I've always felt like I got not a good deal, but a great deal, recognizing that somebody has to feed their family. And so you can't give me the car. But you've always been more than fair. And the people, because what you've done every time when I've come spoken with you and you would direct me to someone. Hopefully they follow up with the same culture, which is, you can shear a sheep 1,000 times and only skin him once. Mm-hmm. So,
I've been sheared.
These relationships.
I've been sheared.
Keep happening. Well, and people need, and things need to be sheared.
Yes. And so with that, but what do you say? You can shear a sheep
1,000 times.
And then you can
only skin him once.
Skin him once. And I've been places where I've been skinned.
We all have.
And you know what?
And you never go back.
I never go back.
Yeah.
And we'll never even think. And so I won't speak ill of them, but I'll never go back. Every time, and this is the honest to God's truth. I'm not just saying this because you're here.
Yeah.
Every time, whenever I'm in the market for a vehicle or anybody else, I tell them about you guys and everyone that I've sent. They have always said that they were treated fairly, with dignity, and with respect.
And that's how you build relationships. Mm-hmm. And in relationships, makes the world go round. Think about it. I don't care if it's my barber or my dentist.
I don't have a barber.
Well,
but
I hope these barbers can survive. You're knocking them out of business.
If they had to depend on me, there would be a whole lot, a lot of barbers in unemployment lines,
or anything. Mm-hmm. A doctor, a dentist, a guy that paints your house, or pressure washes it, or mm-hmm. seals the driveway. If they do a good job, mm-hmm. and they treat you fairly, chances are, if you get a chance to recommend them, you're going to. Hey, I got a guy.
Yeah.
You got to have guys.
You have to have a guy. Listen,
guys.
Everybody needs a guy.
I got a lot of guys. You need a ticket? I got a guy.
A ticket?
No, tickets.
Tickets?
Remember I was just telling you about the tickets? I got a guy.
You got a guy?
I don't want to advertise that, but
I understand that. You have guys that you can refer and out of relationships, and that's important. That's a critical thing. And I've always operated this way. I got it from my parents, my upbringing, to always treat people kindly, not to get something from them, but just because it's the right thing to do.
I like to do things that normal people under normal circumstances wouldn't do. Mm-hmm. A little bit of the extra mile is rarely crowded.
But can you repeat that again? The extra mile
is rarely crowded.
So,
if you go the extra mile a couple of times. I had a fella, just to tell car stories, because most of my experiences in building relationships through this, who bought a new Porsche. And it was a sports car. And he was a really good friend of mine. He took it home down into Marble Cliff. And it was in December, it started snowing. Mm-hmm. Like the next day. And I thought, oh my gosh, he's got this Porsche in his garage. And it's snowing outside. So I had the lot men prep one of the little X-type Jaguar 4-wheel drive cars that I knew was all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And I said, take that down there and leave that in his driveway and leave the key in the door pocket. Because I didn't want him to bring his new Porsche out in the snow. I thought, what would I want to do if I had a new Porsche, brand new, a couple days old, and it's snowing? So we just left the all-wheel drive sedan there for him until the roads cleared up and he could drive it back. He didn't ask for it. But there again, I'm relatively sure that I was his guy.
See, you're not just in the automobile business. You're in the people business.
I'm trying to earn it, paying forward. You know?
And so something like that, he didn't ask for it, but it was just the right.
What I would want somebody to do for me.
Look, that just gave me that gave me, as they say, that gave me the feels, because when I used to work in customer service, people always say customer service, and I'd say, I think we need to flip that. Rather than saying customer service, I said, you can service anybody. I said, but what about customer satisfaction? Right? Everybody can be serviced, but don't you want to be
how true
satisfied?
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and when you're, when I used to work in, I was a medical claims manager. And I said, when we were processing claims, group medical claims, I said, treat that claim like it's your grandmother's, right? Like it's your mother's.
Yeah.
Treat it like that, not like it's a piece of paper. And I said, make sure that customer is satisfied.
Tough.
Yeah.
Tough, but it's a great goal.
Yeah. And I think by building that culture, that catalytic culture for making positive change and provoking positive change. One of the things you're doing, I saw that you have a sponsorship and you sponsor, what is it, with the Porsche?
Yeah, it's called the Carrera Cup North America.
Okay, talk about that, please,
It's
sir.
a race series that is exclusively Porsche. In our particular, they have a ladder system. They have the club that does it, and then they have a thing called the Sprint Challenge. That's the next step up, and then Carrera Cup is new as of 2 years ago, but it's one of 11 countries in the world that has a Carrera Cup.
Okay.
And it's young people that we're trying to help get their foot on the ladder. They are young pros.
Wait, it's young people that are trying to get into the
Trying
ladder.
to get paid.
Okay.
Eventually.
Right. But they have to have skills and experience.
Skills and experience. We try to give them the skills and the experience. Okay. It's egregiously expensive, and so we try to raise sponsorship for young, talented kids, and then mentor them to get their foot on the ladder to move up and get into a professional paid situation.
That is being a catalyst, right, in someone's life, something they have passion for, and then you're assisting them and understanding that there are levels to this.
Oh, yeah, and the funnel narrows as you go up. I mean, it takes a lot of commitment. I guess we talked earlier about what you learn from sports: how to get down, how to get up, how your comrades pick you up when you're down, and how they become lifelong friends, and I enjoy young driver development because these young kids have to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
They have to get comfortable
being uncomfortable because it's and their racecraft, how to go out there and give it your best and still lose, and keep your chin up and get ready to go again tomorrow is reminds me of when we lost the football game.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Who's that? What football game are you referring to?
Well, I mean,
it wasn't.
I don't remember those specific losses. But or you had a tough time, or you got sore muscles, or you got all that stuff in life that chips are down.
Are we referring to OSU?
No, just high school and life and
that loss.
Everything out.
Okay.
Yeah. The game of life.
The game of life.
It's not always perfect, is it?
You're going to take hits. You're going to take losses. but what can you win from those
How do you
hits?
deal with them?
How do you deal with them? When I played football, believe it or not, I was 5'1", I weighed 135 pounds. I was very, very quick, but I wasn't big. But I knew I had to learn how to take a hit. Because in football, if you're carrying the ball, you're the target. Everybody's focused on you.
Yeah.
And I knew it was impossible for me to get through a game without getting hit. But I had to learn how to take a hit and then give a hit, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is really what life is about, because you're going to take hits if you're going to be carrying the ball.
And you got to know how to get back up and go. Get back up. And I see that, I see that in these kids. That's what I enjoy about it, I think, the most.
If there were one piece of advice that you could give to those kids, or anyone here about, you're in the music industry, you're not industry, but you played, you have a great family life, you enjoy that. You've had a very successful career and still going in the automobile industry with Porsche, Audi, Subaru, Volkswagen, and Polestar, all high end.
All high end.
High quality. So if there were one piece of advice, if you could give to those who are listening, not just for the young people, but for anyone else, because they might be at a place where they're in transition and they might need to hear something positive that will provoke them, something catalytic. What one piece of advice or whatever, what would you give to them? What would you say?
I would say just one of the most important things to me and help me in my life is a couple of things. If it wasn't that, it would be something else. I mean, to think about that, I used to stress about what was going on. And then I flew over our operation in an airplane going somewhere one time, and I was looking for it, and I looked down, and it was so minute that if I did find it, then I realized, that really, in the big picture of things, that really doesn't matter. And stuff happens. Mm-hmm. So if it wasn't that, it'd be something else. So I'd say leave the stress behind. Do the best you can do. Use what you have and start now.
Start when?
Now.
When does now begin?
Now begins right now.
So it really doesn't matter what happened?
Yeah. Use what you have.
When?
And start now.
Right. Now.
And surround yourself with good people. I've been, and have no secrets. Another thing that relieved me of any of the pressure was I just thought, I have no secrets. Mm-hmm. I don't care who's watching or who's listening. I have nothing to fear, kind of a.
And that goes to character and integrity, not just reputation.
It helps achieve that, I think.
Mm-hmm. And help you sleep well at night.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, I sleep well at night. I have no secrets.
Kevin, it's been a pleasure. Kevin King, who is the general manager of Byers Imports, I've known for all of these years, and I look forward to having a relationship with you for the years coming, and then well into the future. And when I do need another vehicle,
call me first. You got guys.
Yeah, I have guys.
You got guys, don't you?
I got guys.
You got guys.
All right. This is David Carter for David Carter's The Catalyst Podcast. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.